I decided not to follow the beaten path. And so people thought I was crazy. But I persisted because I was always taught things worth having in life never come easy. Good afternoon, everyone. Today, I feel proud and privileged to be standing here, sharing with you my little story. The story is of a 5-year-old girl who wanted to become a cricketer, a pilot, and an astronaut, all at the same time. It is a story of stubbornness, inspiration, hope, and passion. I fell in love with cricket, like most of you, at a very young age. My first impressions of cricket involved my father, who has played a pivotal role in my development as a human being altogether. Memories, cricket memories. I remember it was a dark night. There was a power shutdown in our area, and therefore I was not able to watch a game that was being televised live. I was disheartened, like most of you. And I was preparing for an early night that day. My father, he came to my rescue, and he removed our savior, the transistor. And then I, along with my father, went for a walk on a starry night, listening to Sachin Tendulkar bat. That's my sense of romance. I'm sure most of you will be thinking the same. And mind you, I considered myself a huge cricket bluff and a critic post that night. There were summer vacations when I couldn't find enough friends to play cricket with. To ensure that I wasn't cooped up at home, my father would come join me. We would have catching practice with a tiny little tennis ball, and mind you, we have gone till 1,000 catches without dropping any. One memory that still stands highly for me is to convince my not-so-sports-loving sister to join us. She was just 180 degrees apart. She's nowhere near sports of any sort. My sister with her, she's a software engineer now, works for Hitachi Infotech, and she's far away from sport or cricket, anything for that matter. In my story so far, my father has been the guiding light. He has been the one I pushed the limits. He has been the reason why I push the limits even today. He has been that hero for me who has inspired me, no matter what the situation is. I'm sure a lot of you would be listening to Adam Young. He's my favorite singer. In his lines, he says that all heroes do not wear capes, and my father for me is the capeless hero. Now, coming on to my background, it's a story about the path less taken. I'm a native of Jaunpur. I'm sure a lot of you would be knowing. It's a small town near Varanasi. It's 45 minutes ride from Varanasi. I'm a native of Jaunpur. I was born in Ramagundam. It's a 1-hour drive from here again, which is in Andhra Pradesh, of course. And I'm posted to New Delhi. I'm an Air Force officer. And we are settled in Goa. So I can call myself a true Indian. I belong to up north. I was born in south. I'm posted to up north again, and reside in west of India. And probably I play in each nook and corner of the country. Probably one of the reasons why I call my mother Amma, and I call my father Daddy. I know, I mean, it's funny that way. People who come to our houses really do not understand the whole language that's being spoken at home. I grew up studying in Kendriya Vidyalayas. Kendriya Vidyalayas, if you know, are the ones that I studied in were all situated in defense setups. My father, he himself is a teacher. He's a retired teacher. He used to teach Hindi in Kendriya Vidyalayas. So he made sure that whatever I do, I might spend 10 hours playing cricket or 10 hours doing something else of my interest, but my studies should go on. And this was something that inspired both of us. Like I said, my sister, she's an engineer. I'm also an engineer. I've done my electrical electronics engineering. So he always believed that whatever you do in life, education should come first. And probably one of the reasons, the whole thought process was education will stay with me for my whole life. Something else might not. So he made sure that if I'm heading on to my hobbies, to spend time on my hobbies, I first finish my homework, and only then was I allowed to go play with the other kids. I did barely well in my 10th and my 12th standard exams. I was CBSE student, like I said.
I got a okay 90.4% in my 10th standard, and again a 90%. I'm just rounding it off. I was 89.8 in my 12th standard, a science student. I did fairly well, and so obviously engineering was my choice because mathematics and physics were my favorite subjects when I was in the school. I do not remember any of it right now, but then yes, they were my favorites when I was studying in my school. So it was not that difficult a choice for me to make. I took up engineering. I got admission in Goa Engineering College, which is situated in Goa. It's a government college like yours. And it said that the cream of the whole of Goa studies there. I was still playing cricket. I was playing cricket as a hobby. Imitating the post-match press conferences was one of my favorite pastimes. Yeah, the boys played well, and the girls played well, as like I would say it. And even if the boys have not played well, they've still played well. Every question would have an answer of that sort. I vividly remember a memory of, this was the year 98. It was Sachin Tendulkar was all around. It was said that the Indian team was playing with 1.5 players. One was Sachin Tendulkar, and the other half were the other 10 players who were playing. So it was 9:30 in the night, and as usual, I was sleeping because I had already played and I was tired. My father came up to me and he woke me up, and he said, "Watch this." He literally made sure that I watch every minute of that innings because he thought, not just cricket per se, but he thought something huge is happening. And probably that was the day I got bitten by the cricket bug. Like I said, I was playing cricket with the boys. Gully cricket was my favorite form of pastime. I had a boycott back then. So one memory that stands out for me is when the game would be finished, there was a sense of utter disbelief and astonishment on the boys' face when they would recognize me, and they said, "Oh, you're a girl who was playing alongside me. Acha, ladkiyan bhi khelti hain." So the utter disbelief that I could see on their faces was a sense of accomplishment for me at that time. I started playing professionally pretty late, I would say, by your standards. I started playing only when I was 18-year-old. Looking at the present scenario, kids who cannot even lift their bags go for cricket training. So for me, it was pretty late. But then at that moment of time, I never thought that 18 is late for me to start. And I never came across someone who told that to me. So I was blessed that way. I've always believed that if I want to do something new in my life or probably pursue my dream, it doesn't matter if I am a 10-year-old or if I'm a 30-year-old. For me, age is never a bar. Always remember, I have remembered that hope cannot be crushed because, believe it, dreams cannot be turned to dust. Again, an Adam Young line. I'm a big fan of this. I had a great under-19 tournament that year. I did pretty well. I was being recognized. And actually, I can say that I was starting to dream about playing for India after that under-19 tournament. But as fate would have it, I was giving my recruitment exams, as I'm sure all of you guys also have your exams, recruitment rallies and everything. So in my third year of engineering, I got placed in 3 companies. Now, okay, I have to make a decision. I got placed in 3 multinational companies, whether I take the job or should I go play cricket. I took a year's time to think, yes, 365 days to think, and still I couldn't find a way through. I told my parents about it. What do you think I should do? To my surprise, the not-so-sports friend of mine came up to me and said, "You must pursue your dreams." She's 2 years elder to me. She was working for a multinational company. She came up to me and said, "All of us want to take the easy way out, finish engineering, take up a good job, and then settle down. But if you have something in you, and if you want to follow your dreams, you should follow your dreams." And coming from a middle-class background, it was very difficult a decision for them to make. And I was, at that time, for the first time in my life, I thought, oh, what a sister I've got. So probably it was the support that I got from them. Also, a point that has to be noted here is engineering and cricket both together is a deadly combination, believe me. I might talk to you and try to inspire you But then it was very difficult, juggling my classes, my projects, my assignments, and everything else, not attending social functions because I used to be on the grounds. So I was not a very popular person in the college back then. But then the kind of support that I got from my lecturers at college, I would go after, we had a lunch break of 1 to 2. I would go to them during that lunch break to ask them my doubts. And they were so gracious. They were always there for me. My friends at college, they were there for me whenever I needed them. My teammates with whom I was practicing, my coaches, and of course my family and my sister. All of them were the reason why I was able to escape through those 4 years of engineering without any problems. Now, you'd be interesting to know that what was my schedule. My schedule was crazy. I used to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning, 4:30, go to the gym, finish my gym, come back, then hurry on to college, attend my morning lectures, back onto the field, late evening next sessions, reach back home at around 8:30, study, finish my assignments till 12:30 in the night. And believe me, the first person in the morning to make me the bed tea was my father. He was sitting with me till late in the night, helping me, and then in the morning again he was there, helping me again. So this is the kind of support that I got from my parents, and it's probably because of them I'm here. Just when the cricket dream was taking flight, like I told you, I decided not to take up the creative jobs that I could get, and probably I also would have been placed in a multinational company. But I decided to take a year off and to assess myself as to where do I stand there. I mean, will I be able to break into the Indian team at that point or not? I did pretty well. There was an England team which had come. I played in the India A team. The next best 15 after the India team constitute the board president's 11 or the India A. I represented India A against the touring England team in 2010. I played against West Indies again, representing India A in 2011. But to my horror and to my surprise, I couldn't make it to the side. I was hard, yes, and I told my father that, what do you think I should be doing? He said, you're destined to get what you work for, so you do not need to care so much about it. And there, something else happened. Like I started my speech with, I have studied in Kendriya Vidyalayas, which were in defense setup. So every day I would see officers in my school, or probably when we used to go to the school. So I was always inspired to join the Indian Armed Forces. And also I think this is the least that I could do for my country. As fate would have it, I wrote my Air Force Common Admission test, and which was followed by the Services Selection Board in 2011, and I cleared them both. So there I was, after a year of rigorous training in Indian Air Force Academy, Hyderabad, for a year, and I passed out as an traffic control officer. We are the ones who control the aircraft in the air, so it's the second hardest job, by the way. So I'm just trying to attract attention. So I got commissioned as an ATO in the administration branch, and in the year 2012, 30th June. Obviously, for this year and a half, I couldn't pursue cricket. I'm the first lady officer from the services, Army, Navy, and Air Force, to play for India. So for the first 1.5 years, I had to keep the cricket dream away and concentrate on my training. But then as soon as I got my chances, I took them. From the support that I got from Air Force Sports Control Board was tremendous. They were always there for me. I got enough leaves from them, and then I made the jump. I played my first match. I debuted for India in 2014, and the biggest tournament for me then was the T20 World Cup. Yes, that also was a World Cup. So this was the T20 World Cup in 2014, and it happened in Bangladesh. I can never forget, firstly, I was presented with my cap, you're always presented with your cap when you play your first game. I was presented with the cap by Jhulan Goswami. She was an idol of mine as I was growing up. When she presented me with the cap, I actually kind of went into a flashback thinking about myself as a 5-year-old, about my parents, how happy would they be, and anyone else who has done much for me. If it wasn't for the lecturers, friends that I had in the college, and the friends of my teammates, I don't think I would have reached there. And I truly believe that the engineering degree that I got helped me a lot. In terms of time management, firstly. Secondly, in terms of last-minute studies. Yeah. Also, how to describe a one-page Word answer for 4 pages. So I was starved of the opportunity, and mind you, I still use my engineering knowledge when we devise plans for the opposite team and help my teammates devise them. Nothing is impossible, I have found, for when I find my chin on the ground. I take a deep breath, I pick myself up, I dust myself off, and I start all over again. Yeah, it seems to be a scene from the Indian movie, but yes, this is what my philosophy has been always. After the World Cup, the next big tournament for me was a series which came up in England. Test matches, I mean, how many of you watch test matches? I'm sure all of you would be watching T20 cricket. So as a kid, I remember getting up at 4:30, watching the Ashes, watching India play Australia in Australia. So here I was. It was 13th August 2014, Indian team in England, Wormsley cricket ground, the perfect setup for the test match. Indian women's test team, 11 players, 8 debutants. 8 people were playing test match for the first time, I included. And guess what the result was? We won. We won on the 4th day. And it was a greater glory for me because I was not originally in the team of 15 that went to England. I went there as a replacement for an injured teammate. I went there as a replacement, can you imagine? Probably the first standby, flies in to England. I am there in the playing 11, and I hit the winning. I hit the winning runs along with Mithali Raj, who was the captain then. So here was a memory which was gift-wrapped and kept in my vault of happiness. A lot of other memories came along. I am the first Indian woman to take a 3-point haul and score a 50 in a ODI, one-day international for India. We defeated Australia in Australia last year in January 2016, and the final in Lord's. Lord's is one ground whose atmosphere no other cricket ground can ever equal. The traditions involved, the kind of warmth that you feel when you enter Lord's, and the expectations, the quantum of expectations. And it can only get better when you're playing the home team in their own courtyard. We're playing England there. World Cup has been an amazing experience for me. The kind of camaraderie that we stuck together, we tried our best to be positive throughout the tournament. We beat all the odds, and throughout the long tournament, we faced all the ups and downs of the tournament. And we are really proud of the way we played, no matter what the media says or anyone else says. We are really proud of each one of us and the way we have performed. It's also one of the points that comes into the picture is we rallied together as soldiers. So I would say that playing cricket for me and to become an air warrior is pretty much the same. The values that I have imbibed as an air warrior, the sense of devotion, the sense of integrity, and the sense of honor that I have imbibed as a cadet in the Air Force Academy and as an officer of the Indian Air Force are unparalleled. I mean, it's just tremendous when I put on my jersey, put on my uniform. I'm one of those blessed few who gets to don the uniform as an air warrior for the Indian Air Force, and who's a proud owner of the blue jersey. I get to represent my country at the international level, at the World Cup. And I'm sure a lot of you here who are sitting right now have it in you. It's for you to understand what your real calling is. Are you ready for the challenges that life is about to throw? And talking about women's cricket and women's sport in India, we girls just rock it, you know. You name a sport, we own it. You talk about badminton, you talk about wrestling, you talk about tennis, you talk about athletics, you just name it, we own it. So the girls right now are killing it. I consider myself a little memory collector who is on her quest to collect as many memories as possible. I consider myself as a radiator who's trying to find sense and optimism in every little incident that is happening in my life. I'm sure all of you who are here have their little stories to be told, yet to be told. And the story of yours might be full of struggles, possible few setbacks, but the ultimate success is what you will find when you finish this journey of yours. For me, the journey has just begun. I would say that I've just started. And you guys, I'm sure you're very young, so you've got a head start of probably, say, 8 to 9 years. So I'm sure that you guys will go ahead. And again, here comes my father, my hero. I've always followed his philosophy. He says, whatever you do it to the best of your ability. No matter how difficult the situation is, if the odds are pitted against you, just go out there and give it your best shot. And I'm sure that you'll find a way through. And probably it's one of the reasons why I have pushed myself every time that I go onto the field, every time I'm doing my work as an Air Force warrior, and one of the reasons that I'm standing here today in front of all of you. I would finish again with a few lines from Adam Young. I'm not sure whether I've inspired you, but probably I've made you a huge fan of my father or Adam Young. There were days when each hour was a war that I fought to survive. There were nights full of nightmares, and I dreaded closing my eyes. But whatever happened yesterday, or will happen, or happens today, tomorrow's sun will still be shining. So don't you worry, every mushroom cloud has a silver lining. So whatever you do, just don't let the fire die. Thank you.